Hi everyone, I'm Marcy, and today I'm making pesto chicken lasagna rolls in a creamy Alfredo sauce. I figured you may be looking for something sort of romantic or special to make for Valentine's Day, and to me, these fit the bill. But first, show me some love and give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and let's get cooking. When I think of a romantic dinner, I always think pasta, probably because of that famous scene in the movie Lady and the Tramp where they share a single string of spaghetti. So when thinking of a recipe to share for Valentine's Day, I immediately thought lasagna, and rolled in particular because they remind me of roses. So here's what you're going to need for this recipe, and I'll put the exact measurements in the description box below. You'll need 1 box of lasagna, some ricotta cheese, mozzarella cheese, Parmesan cheese, and we'll be using some in the filling as well as in the sauce, so I've already got it separated. Some fresh chicken, an egg, plenty of pesto, heavy whipping cream, fresh garlic, fresh parsley, salt and pepper, and then this is optional, but I really love it in this recipe, and that's pine nuts. I'm going to start by cooking the chicken. I season it with a little salt. And if you've been following my videos, you know that I love pesto, so I don't measure, I just slather it on the chicken and then fry it. These pieces of chicken are sliced fairly thin, so about 4 to 5 minutes on each side should get it cooked perfectly. Then I'll take it off the stove and let it rest. Meantime, I'll put some water in a large pot and set it on the stove to boil. I'll salt it with about a teaspoon of salt, and while that's heating, I'll start making the filling. For this, I grab a large bowl, I put in the ricotta, then 2 cups of grated mozzarella cheese, 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. I crack open an egg, add half a teaspoon of salt and pepper, and we'll need about 1/4 cup of freshly chopped parsley. If you can't find it fresh, you can of course use dry flakes, but only use about a tablespoon if that's the case. I'll go ahead and add this in. And I'm just going to mix it until it's all well incorporated and then set it aside. I'll then take the chicken that's been resting and cut it up into small pieces. Now that the water is boiling, I can put in the pasta. And you just want to cook it according to the directions on the package. And this looks done, so I'll go ahead and turn it off. When it's cooked al dente, drain the hot water and replace it with cold water so it stops cooking. Now I can make the sauce, and this is really simple but so delicious. You just put a large skillet over the stove at medium heat. I'm going to put a couple of large spoonfuls of pesto in there. Then I'll add in some minced garlic using my garlic press. I'll just mix it up for a bit. Then I'll add a couple of cups of heavy cream. I'll stir it all up. And finally, I'll add a cup of grated Parmesan cheese, and you just want to make sure it all gets melted together. If you don't think this is going to be enough sauce, you can always add a little more cream. And if you don't want it quite that thick, you can also add about 1/2 cup of water at this point. It's all up to you. And that's how you want it to look, nice and creamy. With that done, I'll take it off the burner and we can finally start putting these lasagna rolls together. I've pulled out a couple of different baking dishes to give you some options, and I'm lightly greasing them. I'm going to put just a little bit of sauce on bottom of both dishes. This just helps the lasagna not to stick to the pan. I'll lay some parchment paper onto my counter. Then we can grab our noodles, drain off the water, and lay them flat side by side. I'll spread a layer of the ricotta cheese mixture all along the top of each noodle. Next, I'll add some chicken, and you'll see that I'm just scattering it here and there because it's all going to get rolled up anyway. Of Of course, my trusty sidekick, Miley, is on standby, hoping one of these will roll off the counter and onto the floor. But that's just wishful thinking. She's being so good, I think she's earned a little piece of chicken. Here you go, baby. Good catch. No more. And now I'm gonna add some pine nuts, which are optional, but I really love them in this recipe, and I grew up eating them all the time. In Spanish, we call them piñones. And when I was a kid, we actually used to go picking piñones with my grandfather, and he was such an animal lover that every time we did that, he would make us take other food and leave it behind for the squirrels, because he said we were taking the squirrels' food, the piñones. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and just put a few on here, and then I can roll these up. If you have a deep baking dish, you can stand the lasagna rolls straight up, which is how I prefer to make them because they just look so pretty that way. But after I fill this up, I'll show you a different way to do it. Got it in. Now I'll place the remaining lasagna rolls in the other dish. And these I'm gonna lay on the side. If you were making a romantic dinner for two, you could split all your amounts down the middle and only use one baking dish. But since I don't make lasagna very often, whenever I do, I make the full package regardless, and we just enjoy leftovers for a few days. Close enough. Now I'm just going to take that pesto Alfredo sauce and pour it all over the lasagna rolls. Sprinkle a little more mozzarella on top, cover with aluminum foil, and then stick them in the oven at 360 and let them bake for 30 minutes covered. I'll then remove the foil, switch the oven to broiler, and let them bake 10 minutes longer until the cheese gets golden. Ooh, look at that. Smells good and looks good. Doesn't that look like roses? I'm telling you, very romantic. Now I'm just gonna sprinkle some more fresh parsley on top. Give it a little pop of color. I'm gonna go ahead and serve myself one of these so you can see what they look like. My mouth is already watering just looking at this. You can see all the melted cheese and just the golden parts here on the top. I see a couple of pine nuts in there and fresh parsley. It's a thing of beauty. rich and creamy and so yummy. And as you can see, there's plenty to feed the whole family. It doesn't have to just be a romantic dinner for two. Trust me, they'll love you for it. Thanks so much for checking out this video. Be sure to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and click that notification bell so you know when my next recipe comes out. You can also follow me at Marcy Inspired on Instagram and Facebook. Until next time, blessings from my kitchen to yours.